Hey G fans, GojiFan93 here, and welcome to another top list. This video I will be doing my top 5 things that 2014 did right. So my last two videos of the top 10, top 5 series was the top 5 things that Godzilla 1998 did right and wrong. So now I will be tackling what 2014 did right and wrong. So in this video I will be basically relishing and loving this 2014 film for what it did. And yeah, and I got my list right here, so let's get on with it. Alright, so number 5 is going to be the special effects. The special effects in Godzilla 2014 were just amazing. I mean, this was the biggest thing that I was worried about. I feel like a lot of Godzilla fans were worried about this, you know, obviously knowing that Godzilla 2014 was going to be all CGI, it wasn't going to be a guy in a rubber suit, and there's my dog right there. But they delivered on all accounts when it came to CGI. They made Godzilla move so realistically, they made him move perfectly, they made him move slowly, which gave the illusion that he was bigger than what he really was. That's something that 1998 did not have, was making him move slow, and that's the old Toho style of making monsters seem bigger than they are, was making them by slowing down the footage. So they just made him perfectly the movement speed of him was perfect, and just the detail in his skin and like when Godzilla moved, like you saw his skin just move along with it, and just perfect. It just looks so real, and it was really awesome. Especially like if you guys get it on Blu-ray and stuff, and you watch the movie and you see like Godzilla's eyes and stuff. I mean, he has really small eyes in this one, but when you see them, it's so cool. And also when they did the mutos look amazing, and also just the scenery, the backdrops, because I know a lot of what was really cool though is that there were a lot of practical sets. There, inside the Muto hive, there was a lot of that was practical set. That was all there, an actual set, so that when Aaron Taylor Johnson and his team went in there to go take out the Muto hive, they could actually kind of imagine what was going on, rather than them just being in a complete blue screen, or like a blue room, like a blue screen everywhere or green screens everywhere. But then in the background, obviously, if you look at the behind the scenes, there are green screens behind them, but that just further enhances the background of the Muto hive, and they have a lot of shots like that. I mean, like even at the end when they're when Godzilla is waking up, and the morning after when he fights the Muto, and you see Shiro Honda, or when you see Dr. Serizawa, his name has a Shiro in it, that's why I said a Shiro Honda, but when you see Dr. Serizawa looking at Godzilla, and Godzilla's waking up like that, you see the characters in the foreground, and you see Godzilla in the background, but like all of that was just so realistic looking. It was just fantastic. So the special effects in this movie were top notch. Alright, so the fourth thing that I think this film did right was the soundtrack. Now, a lot of Godzilla fans, including myself, were concerned, just as we are for the special effects, as well with the soundtrack. Now, sadly, Akira Ifukube is not with us anymore, so he couldn't do the music, and also it wasn't going to be by a Japanese orchestra. It was going to be by more American. Well, I mean, it wasn't actually an American, but Alexander Desplat, I believe that's his name. I probably butchered his name, but he was the composer for this one, and I don't know much about him. I don't know his background or anything like that, so just put in the comments below like so you can let people know what his background was. But he did a phenomenal job. I think he gave the movie a character, and like when you listen to the theme song, the dun 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 dun, it just gets the movie going. You get pumped up. I remember seeing it in the theaters when Aaron Taylor Johnson is running from the mother Muto, and she's just like, she sees, she like all of a sudden knows that they're going to set off the nuke or whatever. She like, cause she knows the radiation or whatever, blah blah blah. And then just the music of that intense scene when the female Muto is charging after Aaron Taylor Johnson's character. It's just like, I mean, the music is really good. I've listened to the soundtrack many times, just the soundtrack alone, and it's really top notch. So I feel like Akira Ifukube would like this soundtrack. Alright, the third thing that I really think that this film did right was the atmosphere. They they definitely nailed atmosphere. This is not a campy Godzilla movie. This is not a cheesy Godzilla movie. This is not a fun, family-loving kind of movie like 1998 was. 1998 was campy and cheesy in the kind of sci-fi B-movie way. This film is completely realistic, dark, gritty. There was probably, one time where there was like a joke or something, but other than that, there was no comedy in this movie whatsoever. There was no cheese. There was nothing. Maybe there was a bit of cheese when, I would say it was not intended cheese. I'm talking about, like, scenes that were meant to be cheesy. I understand that a lot of audiences, like, especially when I went to see this in theaters, a lot of audiences laughed when Dr. Serizawa, like, turned around and said, "Gojira," and then, a lot of people laughed. That was unintended cheese. But the atmosphere of this movie is just the dark tone of it. There was not a lot of color in this movie, which I can kind of see a lot of people not really liking. But I was all right with it. I was fine that there wasn't a lot of color with it. Hell, we have Pacific Rim for that. Pacific Rim had a buttload of colors. But this film, it needed that color tone. It needed to be that dark and gritty style because it reminds you of the original Godzilla movie where it was black and white and it was dark and gritty back then. So this is a perfect atmosphere to match what the original did, and I loved it. Alright, the second thing that this movie did right was introduce new kaiju, the Mutos. The female Muto and the male Muto, or Hawk Muto and Muto, however their names are. These two new kaiju are just amazing, fantastic. I love these characters. I think, Legendary really nailed it to get, not completely original because they definitely take inspiration from other monsters, which is what Gareth Edwards said in the first place. Gareth stated that these Muto were created by inspirations from other monsters. Whether it was from, like, obviously Cloverfield. I bet that Cloverfield was a huge inspiration because of just the arms and just the way the Muto's form was. I can see a little bit of, like, I don't know why, but I can see a little bit of Gigan in him. I don't know why. I just think of Gigan sometimes when I think of the Mutos, just in, like, the design on the face, the beak, or something like that. I don't know. But what they were, the color scheme, their roar. Their roar is freaking awesome. I love it. It's so cool sounding. What the Mutos are is just a really, really cool creation. And it was really nice to see a new monster fight Godzilla rather than them using, older monsters and bringing them back. I think it's really good that if Godzilla has a new movie that is going to start a new series, he has to have a new enemy. The Heisei films started that with Biollante, the Millennium films did that with Orga, so I think it's good that the Legendary series started with Mutos, and hopefully Godzilla 2016 will start with an original monster as well. So the Mutos are definitely awesome in my book. Alright, and the number one thing, which I think everybody can agree on, even if you don't like the film, is that this is Godzilla. This is the king of the monsters. What you see on screen, this is the Japanese Godzilla. This is the metaphorical atomic bomb, putting a mirror to humanity. Like, this is what Godzilla is supposed to be. Destruction. He does not give a shit about anything except for, showing humans that we're wrong, but he doesn't know we're around. He thinks we're just ants. He doesn't really notice us. And he's just trying to protect. He's kind of a little bit of an Earth protect. Obviously in Godzilla Unleashed, he's classified under the Earth Defenders, but it's kind of like a different Earth Defender than like Mothra. Mothra, Gamera, and Ultraman are kind of like, we're here to protect humans. Well, more along Ultraman, and I would say like Gamera in a way, maybe. Mothra's a little bit more of the natural Earth, which I think is more along what Godzilla is. Godzilla's just trying to protect his home. He's an animal trying to protect his home and all that. And they changed up Godzilla's origins a little bit. He's still created by the nuclear bomb, or he's still enhanced by the nuclear bomb, but he was actually around way before anything, like dinosaur times, and he was there and underground and then got woken up and stuff like that, rather than being completely created by the atomic bomb that he was in the original. And I'm glad that they kind of changed up his origin, because that's perfectly fine. You can do that. They changed his origin the right way, because they kept what kept the basic bottom line of what his origin was, but they changed it up a little bit to change the character. And like I always said, I feel like this Godzilla he's like a Jedi. He's bringing balance to nature, basically bringing balance to the Force, rather than just a straight up mutant created by the atomic bomb and who's just, you know, kind of angry and pissed off all the time. Godzilla's a little bit of an anti-hero in this one, which is perfectly fine because my favorite series is the Heisei series, and that's what Godzilla was in every one of those films. He was an anti-hero, except for 1984. Not an anti-hero in that one, but I mean, this movie nailed it. Like, Gareth Edwards knows, he respected what Toho created, and Toho, you know, they love the film. They feel that we got it right this time. So this movie nailed it, got the goal with, yes, this is a Godzilla movie, and also I feel the biggest thing that this film did right, this is kind of like an honorable mention, is that this film made Godzilla popular. It showed that Godzilla still has steam. I mean, guys, ever since this movie has come out, Godzilla has been everywhere. There's been news and the game coming out and the figures, the merchandise, people know what Godzilla is now. I can go outside, go to public spaces with a Godzilla shirt on, and people will look at it and go, oh yeah, that's Godzilla, cool. They won't look at me and go, oh, it's Godzilla. No, like, people are actually, like, they get it now. It's awesome. So that's what this film did right. Those are my 5 things of what this film did right. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Post in the comments below what you think this film did right, and I will see you guys in the next top 5 video where I will completely destroy this film and say what it did wrong. So I'll see you guys in that next video, and as always, stay big, G fans.